cat. Everybody laughing.
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. With me tonight are two very special ladies. We have Lucy, who has quite a story to tell, and someone who I have known forever, really. We worked together in another lifetime. Ali Girardi joins me from O.P.I.N, Outreach to Pets in Need. Ali, welcome and thank you for joining me tonight and bringing Lucy.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It's exciting. Like I said, Ali and I worked together in the early 90s, which, I mean, that's like hard to imagine for me.
I can't believe they let us work at the age of 3.
I know, child labor laws must not have been in effect then.
Much more restrictive.
I like her for a reason. But yeah, Lucy is a dog that I spoke about shortly after her incident and showed a couple pictures. And then I saw all these posts signed off Ali Girardi. And, you know, you start to put two and two together. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others. But I'm like, Ali Girardi, how many Ali Girardis are there down in, like, the Stamford area, you know? I mean, the spelling gives it away and all this. I looked her up, and sure enough, it's you.
Hi.
And I reached out, and here we are now with our little star, Lucy. And, you know, it's so amazing to see her now versus some of the pictures that we're going to look at, and it's just unbelievable. Lucy's story encompasses, like, all the things that I go on and on about all the time. We talked about this. I usually have a little chit chat with my guests the night before, and we had a lot of catching up to do, and we did. But Lucy's story kind of touches on the plight of the pit, animal abuse, responsible pet ownership, backyard breeding, you know, probably a whole lot more in the bigger picture of things.
Yeah, the whole gambit. She sure does.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and here she is as proof that the strong survive, love heals, and she's amazing. She just, I can't believe she's here. I'm so excited. You're here. It's like one of those crazy nights. You know, truth is stranger than fiction.
It's true.
But anyway, give us Lucy's backstory. Tell us about what happened to her, and then we will look at her pictures to show kind of what she's been through. Oh, baby, you are lovely.
Lucy is an amazing story of strength, courage, and spirit. She was caught in a fire January 26th in Norwalk, Connecticut. Basically, Lucy was kept outdoors. She was living outside with her male counterpart and her 2 puppies. And the puppies were 8 weeks old, and the owners had placed a makeshift doghouse together. And it was the weekend of extraordinarily cold weather. We were 12 degrees, and that was not even with the wind chill factor. And they placed a space heater inside the makeshift doghouse, and basically the space heater ignited, an electrical cord ignited, and the tarp, which was on top of the doghouse, caught on fire. Lucy's pups died in the fire. The male dog was able to escape, but she tried to stay with the pups. And she was burned over 40% of her body.
If anybody can see her cute little butt, you can still see she's in the process of healing.
Yeah, and she's come a tremendously, incredibly long way. But the police officers on the scene rushed her to the hospital to veterinarian care. It's VREC in Norwalk. It's a 24-hour hospital. And the owners chose to euthanize. And basically the veterinarians at the hospital, Dr. Durkin was phenomenal. He knew that he could save her. And most of the burns were 2nd degree. So they started calling rescue groups. and they called the adoption manager of the Stanford Animal Control. She called us, O.P.I.N, and we rushed up there and took over Lucy's care, and the owner surrendered her to us. And basically, I mean, the first night, we had no idea if she was going to survive or not.
Now, didn't you tell me, I hate to interrupt you, she actually walked into the vet on
She
her
walked
own?
in, and I told you it took me 2 weeks to build up the courage to ask, because I couldn't imagine what it was like. I couldn't imagine, you know, the technicians, the doctors, what they were faced with. And I said, out of curiosity, how did she come in? Did you have a gurney set up? And they said,
It's okay,
believe it or not, the police officer opened his door, and she got out of the car with her leash, and they walked her in. And
That just shows her determination
Oh, my
and her
gosh.
will and her spirit. I mean, that's, you know, you burn your thumb cooking, you know, and it burns, it hurts, it throbs, it pounds. This is her whole body.
yeah.
Weren't like her pads burned? And,
Oh my gosh, her
and-
pads were, she wore little socks for weeks. And when we would take her outside, we would place booties over her socks.
Sure.
Because of the snow and ice, we couldn't get the gauze wet. And she'd trudge along the floor like a little kid in galoshes. And she had gauze, she was intravenous for several days, antibiotics and painkillers, and her wounds were basically treated on a daily basis. So her skin was scraped, bandages were changed on a daily basis, and the hospital would dress her gauze. So they had incredible designs.
Yeah,
that
we'll
the-
see some of those.
And she was just amazing, and we'd sit with her each day. Everyone from the hospital, I mean, just treated her like a princess. She knows her way around the hospital. You let her
Oh, it's
loose,
probably
she
like her
visits
second
the other
home.
time. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
She's amazing. Amazing.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible to think that, you know, she looks as good as she does.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and the fact that you guys were right there right from the beginning. There was no hesitation, you know, to think that she might not have been here at all, and to know that she stayed with her puppies. She tried to save her puppies. You know, that's devotion. That's, you know, there are people who wouldn't have done that. You know, and look at what's happened to her. I mean, you told me she lost toenails. You had to crop her tail.
Yeah. And then along the way, there were other different instances along the way with, she had a very low infection rate, and that's why her tail needed to be cropped, because the fact she was burnt so badly, most of the tissue was dead tissue and was starting to become infected. So the tail was cropped, and she was a trooper. I mean, an amazing trooper throughout this.
I'm just so in love with her.
She's a beautiful dog.
She is. She's look at how calm and mellow and wonderful she is. I mean, you know, how could you go wrong with a dog like that? What she'd been through. I mean, you know, clearly the guy was breeding her. You know, chose just to give up on her like that, and here she is, just a miracle.
Yes.
Now, we do have some pictures so we can look at her history. Zach, are you ready? Are you with me? All right, let's get that first one up, which is from, you guys posted it on January 27th, and that's pretty much where it all started.
That was the first night. I had gone up to visit her. That was the first night. I put my hand down in front of her, and she just put her head on my hand, and you should be fine. You just knew it.
Yeah.
You knew, and you just knew what a sweet, beautiful dog she is.
I mean, that alone looks so painful right there. You know, that's just, it makes you hurt. It makes you want to cry.
Oh my gosh.
You know. The next picture I have is from February 5th. You guys posted it. And I couldn't resist because I thought that was just too cute. There's
Yeah.
another instance, as you mentioned, that they had her all wrapped up and made it very cute.
Yeah, she was still in the gauze bandages. She was for weeks, and they would just make everybody cheery that was around her, and I'm convinced that helped with her recovery.
Sure, it was no pity. There was all love and encouragement, and, she was the
Exactly.
pity.
Yeah.
She was the pretty pity.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump ahead to February 22nd. There's a little Pac-Man theme
Yeah.
and her little booties.
The booties covered the gauze bandages because her pads were badly burnt, and it took a while for full recovery. And the Pac-Man, they originally tried to make snowflakes. That was in the middle of her blizzard. And I guess
Snowflakes,
the
Pac-Man, it's
snowflakes they had
close.
a little, issue with, and instead she became Pac-Man, which is,
I think that's hilarious.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great one.
But
It's a great one.
you could just see the sweetness in her face the whole way through.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The next one is March 23rd. And that just kind of shows her skin and where it was at.
Yeah, and that was just a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, the recovery's been amazing. It really, really has. I mean, you have to picture over 40% of her body was raw pink,
Yeah.
so she's come a long way.
And how much of that do you really expect to go away over time?
The doctors think the majority of that hair will come back. I mean, at the beginning, even her face was...
Yeah, I mean, if you look at her face now, you really can't tell by her face.
No, and we were so happy when her whiskers came back.
Oh, I can imagine.
Right, Lucy?
Yeah, let's see your whiskers. I see your whiskers. Okay, the next one I was using to brag about her coming on the show is her Easter picture, which I just thought was priceless.
Oh, yeah.
In her little dress with a little bow. And it looks like a little harness to go with it.
Lucy's foster family
Yeah.
got her that dress. So they keep up the tradition of covering, the raw skin and all of that because you don't want too much getting in there.
Yeah.
But they bought her a beautiful Easter dress.
I think that's so fabulous. I love, once again, the expression on her face is just so amazing. It exudes sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
And it just tells you what a beautiful, sweet dog she is. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Now, the last picture I put up for our good friend Speedo, and there you go. I knew he'd love it.
The Superman.
That's the Superman bandages. If anybody has never watched the show after mine, they should. The next live show at 8 o'clock, which is Speedo 316, and that usually has some element of Superman involved.
Yeah.
And usually the backdrop, and even Ali, as you can see, Speedo's got his Superman hat on. So now you kind of get why I had to put that one up.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to move on and take the camera back. Clearly she's needed a lot of care, and you guys have had her in a foster home as well.
Yeah, and basically the fosters are two technicians from VREC that knew her from day one.
Yeah.
And they cared for her from day one at the hospital. So it was such an easy transition
Oh, of course.
to go from the hospital to their home.
And no bumps in the road for her because she's with the same people day and
Yeah.
night. So that's a beautiful thing.
And the sisters actually take her, they're twins. They take her into work. They had her spayed, microchipped, vaccinated. So Lucy would carpool and then get to see all of her friends at the hospital. So
Yeah,
it was a
that's awesome.
very easy transition for her.
So now, Ali, what do you do at O.P.I.N, and how did you get started there?
I am co-president of O.P.I.N. We're basically an all-volunteer 501c3. I had in the past would help every rescue out there with checks and blanket drives and food drives, and I wanted to help and be more hands-on. So I started volunteering with O.P.I.N and the Stanford Animal Shelter, and then they had a place on their board, and I joined the board about 1.5 years ago. I've been co-president for the past 13, 14 months. It's an incredible group.
Ali.
Wonderful group of volunteers, animal lovers, community.
And that's like a crazy thing too, to think that we worked in the same business all those years ago, and now we're sort of fighting the same fight in just different ways. It's, you know,
Absolutely.
it's really cool.
It is. It
So
is.
tell us a little bit more about O.P.I.N and what does O.P.I.N stand for? What do you guys do?
O.P.I.N stands for Outreach to Pets in Need. We were formed basically as a request of the public to help the Stanford Animal Shelter. The shelter is a municipal shelter, and we all know municipal city shelters run on shoestrings.
Yep.
So our group is all volunteer. It's a way for the public to make donations, so we have the ability to help the shelter. We have 2 arms. One arm is for the shelter. So we support the animals in the shelter by microchipping every single dog, cat, and rabbit that walks in. We have a behavioral obedience trainer that we pay to work with every single dog and evaluate every dog that comes in. Each and every person that adopts from us, we do offer and cover the cost of 2 training lessons and obedience training at their homes. And we cover medical for the shelter. We also publicize each and every dog and cat that comes and rabbit that comes into the shelter. We provide.
She keeps throwing those rabbits. You know, you got. Is she partial
because we
to
have rabbits too. It's Easter time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I saw a rabbit posted.
Yeah. What a sweetie she is, Tabitha. But so we basically help. We have a training class, a free class every Wednesday night that O.P.I.N sponsors at the shelter, and it's open to the community. And we have the ability to our volunteers bring the dogs to the class.
The shelter dogs.
The shelter dogs.
So,
which
like,
is,
that's amazing because a lot of times that just doesn't happen, and someone takes a dog from a shelter and they're on their own.
And it's great, though, because it gives the dogs exposure.
Sure.
The community is attending the class or bringing their dogs, and they see the dogs. We place Adopt Me vests on the dogs that are up for adoption. And then we have a foster angel program. So basically what we do is our group pulls from the shelter, meaning we adopt the dogs from the shelter and place into foster homes.
He's stirring it up. You know that, right?
Is that why you're fidgety? And
Vito's sitting in position because he wants Lucy to come visit. It's all what you guys can't see, but he's stirring it up.
But and that way we're able to pull the dogs and place
And
them
have a
into
place
the
to go,
foster
sure.
homes, which is great.
Yep, and foster homes, you know, I've said it before, they're just like that critical stepping stone, and so many times the difference between life and death for an animal.
Oh my gosh. And one of the greatest things with which a lot of people don't realize, dogs that are in foster homes, you tend to get people adopting that wouldn't normally adopt.
Because they see them
Because
in a
they're
home
out and about
environment.
and they're like, oh my gosh, and all of our fosters have Adopt Me vests. So they take the dogs out to parks, walks around the community. We encourage them to come to events. We have adoption events and area events where we bring the, you do know she wants to come over to you.
She can if she wants.
Do you want to walk over? No? Yeah, you don't.
It's just begging for her to come over.
Oh, she's the best. Well, that's the Staffies, the pit bulls. I mean, they were known as the nanny dogs. They're just incredible dogs.
They are.
Beautiful dispositions.
I have been a pit advocate for some time, and you know they have my heart incredibly, and you know that's just again, you know, her story just falls into all the things that, you know,
Yeah.
I go on and on about.
Yeah.
It's just too much. It's too much. So yeah, O.P.I.N is really a force to be reckoned with. I mean, it's awesome the way they support, you know, the Stanford Animal Shelter, because so many of the municipalities don't even let anybody get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've got that relationship is great. You know, I've been down there, I've met Lori.
She's the
I
best.
think she's awesome, you know. I'd love to have her come on sometime. But just the partnership is so important, and getting involved is so important, because without foster homes, like I said, it's that stepping stone sometimes between life and death. Without volunteers to walk the dogs, to bring them, in your case, to the training classes and all that, you know, there's just so much to be said for getting involved, because you make such a difference.
Yeah.
You really, really do. And I can't express enough, you know, get involved, people, you know, make a difference. Dogs like Lucy, you know, without people giving of their hearts, would be nowhere, you know?
Yeah, all of the rescue groups are looking for fosters, and it
Yep.
doesn't matter where you're located.
Nope.
You could
There's a shelter near
contact,
you that needs help, or, you know,
Exactly.
you know, a dog to pull, and, you know, if that's what you guys do, and then I see this little connection here. He's just dying. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a pity smile, is there?
I'm telling you.
Absolutely not. Oh, you must have a spot, because she's got her eyes like, you know, that. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Do you know, when everybody heard her story, to the public was so sweet and wondering,
Yeah.
oh, what's going on with Lucy? How's
Yeah,
she
well,
doing?
you guys
So
were
supportive.
posting and posting,
Yeah.
and, you know, it's, everybody rallies around, you know,
Yeah.
an animal that needs support. And, you know, again, just like with Patrick, everybody wanted to adopt Patrick. I mean, you said you've had hundreds of applications for
Yeah.
Lucy. Folks, it doesn't have to be Patrick, and it doesn't have to be Lucy. Adopt a dog. You know what I mean? Save a life. Just do it. It doesn't have to be that star. You can fall in love, and you can, you know,
Exactly.
you can admire, and, you know, you can make a difference to another dog, for Lucy, for Patrick, for all these other ones that, you know, are going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many more that aren't going to be okay, that, you know, you don't have to focus on that one. I found a lot of cases, you know, there's that one dog that's everywhere, and like everybody wants to help that dog. And are we boring you? And then
She's
everybody-
saying, wrap it up now.
Yeah. Everybody forgets about all the other ones.
I know.
You know?
It's so true, and they all have their own story to tell.
Yeah, they really do. And if only they could speak, you know,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Ali, if anybody wants to find out more about Lucy, about O.P.I.N, how to get involved, what kind of programs you offer the community, how can they get in touch with you?
The best way is through our website, which is www.opinpets.org. And we're also on Twitter and Facebook. The links are on our website. And there's a lot of information on Lucy.
Yep, they've
Lucy's
got
story
one heck
from
of
day
a-
one.
It's like this whole big long
Yeah.
thing that you guys keep updating. And all right, why don't you give the website one more time for anybody who might have missed it?
Sure, it's www.opinpets.org. That's OPINPETS.org.
And if anybody still didn't get that, you can go to the Posse Presents Facebook page, and I have shared your Facebook page there.
Thank you.
And along with Lucy's picture, and, you know, talking about how she was going to be on tonight.
Now she's going to go to you.
She's going to go somewhere.
Where are you going to
She's
go, Lucy?
shaking off. She's like, all right, look, you know what? I've been really
I've been good.
saintly
Been good
through
for
most of
25
this.
minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But now I want to move around. Oh, now Steve-O gets his wish.
Oh.
I wish you guys could see. He's so in love. Are you coming back? She's just shaking. Are you coming back? Come on up, baby girl. No? You want to look around?
Hi, sweetheart.
She's too cool. I just love her.
She is. She's beautiful.
Oh, now she's doing the big stretch.
Absolutely beautiful.
All that. She said,
Oh, yeah. You want to come back up, sweet girl? Do you want to come back up? As you can see, she's got her Batman shirt on tonight. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah. They keep her in style. The Fosters did that.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous. You know,
Yeah.
it's too funny. She's just such a little princess.
Oh, she is, and she knows it.
Yeah, she clearly she does. You know, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh gosh, she's an easygoing dog. She lives with 2 cats. She loves everything. People, children, other dogs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm spoiled because I've seen like a lot of the pictures, but she does. She gets along. You know,
Yeah.
you see pictures of her with other dogs. You've brought her to your house and your menagerie.
She hangs out with my 4 dogs. She runs with Cooper, who loves to run. She's something else. But like we were saying, most of the pit bulls are just amazing dogs.
They really are.
Great personalities. You just have to spend the time to get to know them, like all
Exactly.
dogs. You spend the
Exactly.
time to get to know them, unwrap what's under that fur. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're amazing, amazing dogs.
And, you know, hers is just such a story of resilience and strength
Yeah.
and endurance. And, you know, you guys are just, to have stepped up to the plate for her, you know, it's just, I mean, how could you not, you know? But
Yeah.
there are so many others who probably would have said that's just way too much.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even a decision for us.
Yeah, no brainer.
But she's a story too, just like you had said, but also of synergy, which is so amazing.
Yeah.
You know, to get a group of people, the public, the volunteers, the medical group, everyone together to rally her on, and
Yeah, to
it's
just become her, like, her whole
Yeah.
cheering section. And
which encourages us
Yeah.
that they can all be saved.
yeah,
You
you
know?
know, if everybody put their minds to it, it really can happen.
Yeah.
I think we were kind of winding down and running out of time, which is inevitable. And just like I told you, it was going to go
Flies
quickly.
right by, my
Yeah.
gosh.
So there's my credits, and I didn't go over this with you first, but there's a certain way I say goodnight. So follow my lead.
Okay.
We're going to say peace,
Peace,
love,
love,
and dogs.
and dogs. Very nice.
Ali, thank you for joining
Oh,
me.
thank you for having us.
And thank you for bringing Lucy.
Lucy, come say goodnight.
Come say goodnight, little girl. Oh, maybe not? All right, well, we'll say goodnight anyway.
Thank
They're
you.
waving me on.